Good morning, beloveds. If you heard the comment about Gloria's sabers, it's because I'm talking to the cat, and his claws are very, very long. So, there was an artist who had done pictures, and he had basically turned cats into dragons, and they were clipping the dragon's claws, and it's like, no, you must not clip my Gloria sabers. Well, it amused us so much that that's now what we call them. So, all right, it is September 29th. The humidity is very low and my eyes are very messy. So we are just going to go ahead and do this so that I can get through this. Whoop! All right. Do you want to be on camera? Huh? Is that what's going on here? All right. So, September 29th, our title is The Forgiveness Opportunity. And when ye stand praying, forgive if ye have aught against any. And that is Mark 11:25. The second quote is, the untold grief of heart might be relieved by the words of cheer and forgiveness. And that is page 438 of the Science of Mind text. There's probably not a single one of us who has not been ill-treated, in our minds at least, by some person or situation at some time in our lives. If we have matured spiritually over time, we may very well have considered the whole thing a good learning tool and progressed past it. If, on the other hand, we find ourselves still fixed in the hurt or resentment about the past circumstances, then that past time still has us. We have not progressed past it. Each day of our lives, the opportunity for forgiveness is ours. This allows us to clear the way for us to finally release our thoughts about that which has hurt us and be free of it. Implicit in forgiveness is freedom, while implicit in unforgiveness is bondage. So long as we maintain negatively charged emotions, which characterize an unforgiving frame of mind, we carry past events with us into the present day, thereby injuring our new creative efforts. Let us look long and hard over that which needs forgiveness and say to ourselves, do I want to carry this around with me any longer? If the answer is no, it is certainly time then for us to bless, love, and forgive the past. Infinite mind inspires me. Infinite power expresses through me. Infinite love heals me and presents me as the true spiritual being. I take this opportunity now to forgive, release, and let go of any real or imagined past hurts which have stayed in my consciousness. I am free to create anew, no longer giving energy to past concerns, and I am grateful for the new opportunity to use my energies lovingly. And that is MS. That is Margaret Stortz. Okay. So I have very definite ideas about forgiveness, as evidenced by the finger wag. The first thing that I will tell you about forgiveness is it has nothing to do with anybody other than yourself. Okay? No matter what we are talking about, no matter what it is that we are working on forgiveness for, it has absolutely nothing to do with anybody else. Whether it is somebody else who has injured us, you do not ever have to go to that other person and say, I forgive you. You do not have to. Okay? That is not what this is about. That's why she said freedom. Because when we do not forgive within ourselves, then we are bound to the situation, whatever it was that caused the hurt. We are bound to it. And the only way to truly release it is to forgive the person, the situation, what have you. But you don't ever have to actually go to the person and say, I forgive you. Okay? It is an inside job. Now, once you have done the work within yourself, freed yourself from it, if you choose to go to the person and say, I forgive you, that is a separate step. Okay? because there are people who have done things to us that we can forgive, but we don't ever have to let that person back in our life. All right. If that person has made an honest effort and changed and done the work and changed, and we choose to forgive them and let them back in our lives, that's up to us. But forgiveness work doesn't ever have to involve the other person. It is about unbinding your energies from whatever that situation is, so that, as she said in her treatment at the end, or her affirmation at the end, I can use those energies more in new and loving ways. All right. Forgiveness work can get a bad rap. It absolutely can. And so I want to make it clear, when we are doing forgiveness work, it's an inside job. Once we have done the inside work, we have forgiven the situation, we have taken our energy back, we have taken our power back from the situation, then we can make the decision, do we want to forgive that person? And we can also go to the person, forgive them, and still not invite them back into our life. Okay? There's been a large amount of, and I will use the word, spiritual abuse that has been connected to forgiveness work. And as a woman, I'm very aware of this, because frequently women are asked to forgive their abusers and then let them back into their lives. You know, that's expected. That's Christ-like. No, it's not. The forgiveness is Christ-like. Letting them back into their lives? No. So that's why I'm very clear when we talk about forgiveness work. It is about unbinding yourself from the event, the situation, the person, letting go of the negative energy, the negative emotion, and moving forward, so that you can use all of that energy that's been bound up into that past hurt, in new and more creative ways. So that's why we talk about forgiveness work as opportunities for freedom, because you are literally freeing yourself from a situation. When I remember when I was in ministerial school, one of the things that we've talked about is that we're taught is we never talk from an open wound. We can talk from our scars, but we never talk from an open wound. And that's where forgiveness work comes from, or where forgiveness work can be very powerful, because when our wounds are open and we are bleeding all over everything, we are not using our creative power creatively, lovingly, kindly, compassionately, because we're bleeding out. And so when we can forgive that situation, we can heal that wound, then we can talk about the situation without all of the emotional baggage that used to go with it. So we do talk about the things that have happened to us in the past, but we do it in, 1, past tense, and 2, without the emotional overtone. Yes, this is a situation that happened, but it no longer binds me. It no longer drives me. It no longer runs my thinking. Jesse's been talking about how we can compare things. Like when we meet people, they're always going to remind us of somebody. That's just the way our brains work. And so when we detox negative events of their negative emotional charge, then when we meet somebody that reminds us of this person that we may have had this experience with, then 1, we can, because we're not being driven by that negative emotion, we can give that person the chance that they deserve, because they may be nothing like the person that hurt us. All right. They do that in relationship work. It's like, are you blaming your current partner for the sins of your past partner, even if they're nothing alike? So that's where forgiveness work can be so powerful. And so obvious. It's like, oh, wait, you know what? I had this bad experience with this person. I'm with this new person. I'm punishing this new person for, so what I need to do is go back and forgive this person, detox all those negative emotions, and then give this person and see this person for who they are. So That is, and that's just been something powerful that I've been listening to Reverend Jesse say over the last couple of weeks. It's really interesting. It's when you stop and think, oh, yeah, no, this person reminds me of this other person. Am I giving them a fair chance? And that's where forgiveness work can really help you out. Now, if this person reminds you of this person who has hurt you, and there's a legit reason, and you see behaviors, then that may be your signal to run. You know, but then you have taken all of the negative emotion away from it, and you are using your thought process. All right, I see. Yes, I agree with you, Peggy. And so some of forgiveness work can also interact with grief work. So that's why I talk about don't talk from your open wounds, talk from your scars. So, okay, let me see if there's anything I can get on this wicked tangent about forgiveness work, because forgiveness work has been, it can get really twisted really fast. So have care when you do forgiveness work, and make sure that you are doing all of the self-care that you need to do as you are doing forgiveness work, that you are taking care of yourself, because it's super important that you are doing it from a strong place, from a place of a loving place, a source of your own being. Do not allow somebody to talk you into forgiveness work when you are not ready. If you're not ready to forgive, then you're not ready to forgive. You have work to do. Go do that work, and then when you're ready, it's on your own time. Okay. Let me see. Opportunity to forgive ourselves. To forgive is ours. Free of it. Nope. Okay. My eyes are just messy today. 2 weeks into this healing process. Okay. So I'm going to take the mission for today as this last paragraph. Let us look long and hard over that which needs forgiveness and say to ourselves, do I want to carry this around with me any longer? You want a mission for today? There it is. When you come up against especially a messy emotional situation, a very dear friend of mine who is no longer with us, used to say, do you want the universe to say yes to that? That's along the same lines. Do I want to carry this around with me any longer? If the burden has become too great to bear, I can put it down. And so can you. So the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to ask that question of ourselves when we come up against a charged emotional, baggage. Do I want to carry this around with me any longer? And if I don't, what steps do I need to take to set it down and not pick it back up? The interesting thing about forgiveness work is it is about unpacking luggage. You unpack the luggage, you lay it all out, you take a look at it, and you decide what you want to put back in that bag. And sometimes you look at all of it and you go, you know what? I don't even want the bag anymore. And you leave it be. So that's the mission today, should you choose to accept it. The other mission is the same mission that I give you every day. Do something loving for yourself. Do something kind for yourself. Do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever that looks like. And that is about two things. That is absolutely about self-care. It looks like taking a breath before you speak. It looks like taking a nap. It looks like taking a walk. It looks like turning yourself off and back on again if you just need to reset. But it's also about enjoying life. It's about sitting down with that cup of coffee or that cup of tea or that really amazing dessert or meal and making sure that you are engaging all five senses of your life and enjoying it. We are here to experience. We are here to express. We are also here to enjoy. And so when I say do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, it's about both. It's about creating that habit, that first response, that default setting, so that no matter what happens, you can respond to yourself and others lovingly, kindly, compassionately. But it's also about joy. It's about engagement. It's about enjoying this life. God wants us to be happy. Spirit absolutely wants us to be happy. And we get to practice it. It absolutely is a spiritual practice. joy, happiness, self-care, kindness, compassion, love. It is absolutely all about that. So, all right. So there's that. And when we practice on ourselves, we create a bank. So that when we meet people that need a little extra, or we need a little extra because we're doing forgiveness work, we have a bank to draw from. All right. Connect with the source of your own being. All right. So the other stuff is the usual stuff. Do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like for you today. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important, especially if you are going to do forgiveness work. Extra hydration is very, very important. You will think better. Get that bright light in your early in your day, to reset those circadian rhythms. You will have more energy during the day and you will sleep better at night. So that's science. We're called Science of Mind for a reason. And, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It is all around you all the time. It's a superpower. Happiness is an inside job. It starts inside, and so is heaven. When we connect with the source of our own being, when we fill up with that sense of heaven for being connected to, consciously connected to, because we're always connected to source, then we create heaven in our life around us. And when we do that, when we are authentically ourselves, we give other people permission to be their authentic selves, just by virtue of being who we are. So, open those windows, know who you are, connect with the source of your own being, and if nothing else, take Emma's advice, look for the good and praise it. I love to look for the little goods because it's the little goods that add up to the big goods, and they create avalanches of amazingness. So, all right, here is where I give you the social media, which is we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I am the Running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. So all of these, I archive them on the Running Rev Ryan. I'm a lot behind though. Jeffrey reminds me on a regular basis. Lisa, I need more on the YouTube chat. Okay, I'm working on it. So that's what I know. Oh, and if you want to know what's going on in the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on our constant contact, and those hot links are hot. And there's some interesting stuff coming up. We've always got book studies going on. We've got classes coming up. And Jesse's doing a couple of things through home office that are really cool. So check that out. And I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, and a wonder-filled day, a fantastical day. Ooh, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious day. If I run out of words, I can always use that one. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased and well represented. Always. So, know who you are. Beloved child of God. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you at 9 a.m. Ish tomorrow. And yeah, that's what I know. So know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.